Today we are grilling hamburgers for lunch. This is a Friday and it is the first full week that the coronavirus has had Ohio kind of on shutdown, so we are feeling blessed that we can still work this week, and we're trying to do our due diligence and keeping everything in-house, and we are looking forward to a good weekend coming up.
Okay, so last night Levon made a little post. We were trying to look for some different things to do in the shop, and we did a Q&A, just anything and everything that anybody wants to ask about the shop, what, you know, daily live, whatever we do in here, our goals for stuff. So, first question, Mitchell Fried, what's your ET goal for the S10 this year? Well, we have lots of goals with the S10, but overall goal is to go threes first. That is kind of at the top of our list of stuff to do with it, and hopefully, once the coronavirus gets away, we can go racing again.
Landon, should we do UCC again?
No. I'll never say never, but I know for the amount of work we put into it versus what the stress that it puts through the wintertime, I don't really miss that. I really enjoyed the weekend of and competing, but for now we're going to stick to pro mod racing and seeing how fast we can go, and maybe time will tell. If UCC maybe takes a break for a couple years and comes back with maybe a comeback, we would maybe put Josh's truck together and see if we can play ball.
I love UCC, and it is a very fun event. That was actually the third event I ever went to working at Firepunk, so it kind of holds a special-ish spot in my heart, and that's where we went fast with the S10 last year. So I kind of have two ways to look at it. I mean, Josh obviously has the Pro Street truck again, but I don't know. It is to actually put in the time and the effort to, you know, bring a truck that's going to be a top contender is just, the work is just unimaginable to what goes into it. I mean, days and weeks just not sleeping. So part of me wants to, but I don't honestly know if I mean, probably not. I mean, we ended it on such a good note to actually compete in the main event. Yeah, I'd probably say not. I mean, we won 3 years in a row. I don't really think that I'd really want to go again.
Hard no.
No.
That's gonna be a hard no from me.
No.
Hidden down in the corner inside of me, there's one part of me that says we should, but then I remember all the sleepless nights and I'm like, probably not.
Landon,
Oh, boy.
why don't you get more screen time?
Why don't I get more screen time? Well, you...
Alright, boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs.
Weekends, definitely boxers. Weekdays, briefs.
Briefs.
Free balling. Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
Boxers!
Boxers.
Briefs. Okay, Thomas Wall asked, what is the best non-gated S300, S400 compound setup for 900 horsepower to 1,000? Obviously there's a wide range of turbo setups that can work to make 900 to 1,000, but if you're talking S300, S400, the 366 74 10 T4 on the manifold generally works well, and an S480 beside it is enough air to easily make 1,000 horsepower. That setup still spools nice, you can still tow trailers with it, and really you could probably get by with a 63 millimeter on the manifold, but the 63 millimeter will actually make a little bit more boost, but your intake air temp would be higher. We have run enough trucks with the 366 480 combo that I would recommend that for that application.
300 series or 400 series turbo on a stock fuel 6.7?
S400 all the time. Don't even bother S300. All day. Throw it in the trash.
Phil Hooker, what's the drink of choice around the Shire? So, if we're talking drink appropriate drinks, I like vanilla cappuccinos, what I drink in the morning. Regular coffee, doesn't matter. Big fan of Starbucks, all that girly stuff. That's just me. Josh drinks his coffee black. Just, you know, what it is. After work though, Twisted Teas and Tito's and lemonade. That's what I rock.
Root beer.
I mean, we stock some pink lemonade in the vending machine that I can always dig drinking some of that.
The drink of choice around here is probably Monster. We go through this stuff every day. We even have a vending machine full of it.
Two options: Twisted Tea half and half, or Tito's and lemonade.
Pink lemonade.
I drink water. I'm the only healthy person here.
I said water.
Coffee.
I said
That's about it.
I don't know, root beer.
I would say just normal Miller Lite or water.
Pepsi or Coke.
Okay, Kyle Purdue asked, what is the best way to shift a built automatic while sled pulling? So it's kind of a loaded question because it depends a little bit on your turbo setup, and it depends if you have a ratchet shifter. But let's just say, I think Kyle's asking, in his case, he has a built automatic in a otherwise stock truck with a stock shifter. The way I always sled pulled my truck at DPC was still with factory controls. I would put the truck in manual 1 and have it in 4 low, and I would build enough boost, maybe 10 pounds or so, to where I could roll out 5 to 10 feet and get the turbo lit. Pretty much as soon as the thing came on boost, 3,000 RPM, I would go straight to drive, and the truck would not shift to drive. It would shift first to second, so pretty much light the turbo in first, shift to second, I'd grab the lockup switch, and as soon as it would hit 3,500 RPM, it would shift to third and it would rock and roll, which I had enough horsepower that it could pull through. So there are some trucks that are 500 horsepower that you cannot let it go to third lockup right away, or else it's going to fall under the charger, especially if you have 373s and 35s. In that case, you go first gear, light the charger, grab second, grab lockup, and you ride it out. If it hits 4,000 RPM, shift it to third. If it's pulling good at 3,500 RPM, you leave it in second and you roll out. Otherwise, if you have a ratchet shifter, you can also manually shift it. If you have a 47 RE, you can have the lockup switch on in first gear, and it won't lock the converter till the shifter manually goes to second. So the main thing that you don't want it to do is to short shift into high gear and lock the converter before you're on boost. And you also don't want to come out of the hole so violently that you're just spinning tires, because you're not getting your momentum rolling. But the way I have the quad cat set up now is I have my factory shifter, but I have the anteater. And so I have the anteater shifting at 3,500 RPM. I leave the thing in drive, and I've got lockup commanded where it comes on at 15 miles per hour wheel speed. And I can pretty much boost up 10 pounds of boost, roll out of the hole nice and easy, and stab into it, and it comes right on boost, shifts through the gears, and gets into third gear lockup by the time I'm 40 feet out and it's rolling on.
Russell Bouton asked your favorite year Cummins to tune, along with your least favorite and why. It's tough. I mean, there's not really one that is harder than the others, so to say. I mean, the 06, 07, 59 with the EFI Live really would probably be my favorite. Just a lot more simple. Don't deal with that many problems. Then my least favorite would be the 10 to 12, simply for the fact of they normally don't make the power that they should for the hard parts that they have. I mean, the actual tuning part of it itself is not that difficult, but the 10 to 12s don't really like they don't like making power, so that would be my least favorite.
Best generation of common rail, I'd say, or if you come here, we're probably going to tell you to buy an 06 if you're wanting to make a truck that makes a lot of power. So I don't know, the ECU is happier than the early trucks. Still 5.9, but you can always fix that by changing the block out to 6.7 if you really need to. But general answer, 06.
How's Andy's Tran like the new horsepower, and will it last? That's an open question. It's doing fine now, but I also don't beat on it. I have done like 2 burnouts with it on there, but I've been very gentle with it, and I keep it out of 5th and 6th. Keeping it out of overdrive gears is a huge and crucial thing with 68s. But I mean, even at that, I've honestly, I don't even think I floored the truck while driving around because I don't want it to grenade on me. So will it last? Some people think it will. I personally don't think it'll last long, and I don't want to be the one to find out. So I've been gentle with it.
Okay, Brandon Phillips asked, what's the best way to launch a 48RE without cracking your case in drive? So he's talking about ripping the sprag out of the case. The best example that I have is the quad cab. I have never launched that truck in manual 1. When you go to manual 1 in a 48 or 47 or 48 RE, it brings on the reverse band and it takes the load off the sprag. And if you've got a pro vehicle and you're launching on slicks and you're launching really hard, you need to launch in manual 1. But on the quad cab, I always launch in drive, and the main way you can keep from cracking a case is by launching reasonably. I launch the quad cab with the twin setup that's on, it spools fast, and I can launch at 15 pounds of boost, and it rolls out of the hole hard. I go 158 to 164 60 foot time almost every time, and I have put hundreds of passes on that truck without ever breaking a case. If you ever launch hard enough that it's hopping the rear tires or shaking the front tires, that is when you break the sprag, is when you launch hard enough that you're torque steering all over the place. So sometimes less is more. Your best 60 foot time will be when it's just smooth, hard pull and it doesn't feel violent. So if you think that you've gone fast at 18 pounds of boost launch, don't just go and try a 25 pound boost launch. When it comes to launching too hard, you have to look at the boost that it takes for you to get your truck out of the hole. A single S480, for instance, can't launch at 15 pounds of boost. It'll be way under the Charger. But a smaller set of compounds or a smaller stock appearing turbo can launch hard at 15 pounds of boost. So every truck is different. It's not just an answer. What I always tell guys is start on the conservative side. And if you start at 12, 13 pounds of boost, launch your truck. If it feels like a dog, step it up 2 or 3 pounds of boost and work your way up into that smooth, hard pull out of the hole without spinning tires or breaking traction. If you're breaking traction and hopping a tire, that's when you're most likely to break your sprag.
So Sam Smith asked if socks go with Crocs. They do.
Josh Gibson asked, how many people have I sent on their way? Since we have started the YouTube channel, I have done 158 Dyno Sessions. So that's a year, January of 2019 to March of 2020 has been 158 Dyno Sessions. There's some that I've done where I'm doing it for a buddy or something like that. Didn't count those, but roughly 158 people I have sent on their way.
Okay, we still have quite a few questions that are unanswered, but we're going to kind of wrap this up for today. And any questions that are not answered, we will probably do this again another Friday. And I really appreciate all you guys' feedback. So the last question I want to address is Sean Ellerton. He asked, I have heard so many times that it must be nice to have a race truck. So the question is, how much time, money, dedication does this take from your family in order to have a UCC truck or a Pro Stock truck, etc.? So, great question. A lot of people do, they look at the Pro Mods and the Pro vehicles and they're like, man, that would be awesome if they could have that. And truth is, we're very blessed to be able to do what we do. But because of us having a shop and us being able to promote our business with it, it makes it a lot more viable to spend the money that we do on it. I would guess if I would still be doing concrete like I was 15 years ago, I would probably not have a Pro vehicle because it just wouldn't financially make sense. But as far as the family aspect of it goes, it really needs to be a way of life. My wife and my kids, they enjoy going to the racetrack. Where you guys go camping and set up at a campground for a weekend, we go to a racetrack and set up at the racetrack, and we grill food and we hang out with friends and we get to race. So that is, it kind of has to become a lifestyle that your family and your loved ones around you enjoy doing, because if they don't enjoy it, you're probably going to get a lot of resentment out of it. So I always encourage guys, like if you've got kids and you've got a wife that supports your hobby, embrace it. Take them with you as much as you can. Include them in it because you can raise your kids going to the racetrack. It's a good hobby that builds father-son, father-daughter bonding time. I see a lot of families that grow up going racing together, and those are the families that have a lot of memories along with it. So make the best of it. If you've got the opportunity to do it with your family, not just alone by yourself. I know that for myself, I get a lot of enjoyment hanging out with what I call my diesel family at the track. And I really enjoy bringing my kids and seeing them talk about racing and going fast, and look forward to hopefully one day having my kids be able to pilot their own vehicles and and kind of, raise a family doing the same thing. Thanks a lot for your participation in this video today. Really enjoy getting feedback from other diesel heads and what you guys are interested in, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and we're going to keep dropping these videos next week. If there's other things that you want to address or see addressed, we're always looking for options and looking for ideas for content. So if you guys got a good comparison video or other problems that you're working through and you're looking for answers, hit us up. We'd be glad to give you guys some answers. And by the way, Sierra, being that it's the end of the day now, Matt can take the rest of the day off. It'll be no problem.